Hello then, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the second round of Sunday Race League. We're here for Tier 3 in Austria. We're just waiting for qualifying to start up. We've got everyone here. A nice full grid today. Couple of reserves, and most of the full-time drivers being able to attend, so we should be in for a cracking race. Just waiting on a final few drivers to make sure they're ready for their race. It was an interesting race last time out in Canada. It was dry start and then a wet patch in the race, which allowed Razi to take the win. Impressive drive from him, coming through from 10th on the grid to take the first round of the season. It was Elmerix who got pole for that race. It was a disappointing drive by him. He had a couple of mistakes and a couple of track limit penalties that he just kept picking up. So it'll be interesting to see what he does today. We've got a lot of drivers, of course, very tight grid here in Tier 3. So it should be close up and down the field. Do let me know in the chat any predictions you will have for today's race. Of course, any driver you're rooting for, don't be afraid to show a bit of support for them in the chat as well. Not much happening. Just waiting for the message from Lars that will tell all the drivers to go. And there we go, we're going to be getting underway for qualifying shortly. Everyone is readied, and we'll be getting underway soon. We'll see, it'll be interesting to see what the weather is like. I've got a correspondent in El Murray who's going to tell me what the weather is. Hopefully, it would be nice to have a full dry race, but at the same time, it'd be nice to have any conditions. These drivers, excellent in their driving, will be able to produce some excellent battling no matter what conditions we're going to get. Got a prediction from that Lars will win. One for Sunset by Farico. An Alpha Tauri fan in Mitty in the chat as well. Wasn't that good? Of course, with this whole, with the new constructors combination, that's a championship for everyone to fight for. So the concept is that everyone will score points for their respective team, and it'll be a combination of the points tally from each tier for that team will go into a World Constructors Championship that will be claimed by one team by the end of the season. So nice sunny weather here in Austria for the qualifying at least. We'll see who's the first driver to take the track. And it looks like that's one of the Mercedes coming out. Nolan Mitch will be the first driver out on track. Everyone looking to get some good banker laps in, so I think a few of them might go onto the mediums for the first lap. Just to test the pace out on that. Should be a one-stop strategy here. A few drivers might try and mix it up on what compounds they can use on that. Could go for a medium hard, a soft hard, a soft medium. Lots of options here. I think we'll go on board with the last race pole sitter, Elmerix, on his first lap. He's really struggled in the race last time out with the fastest. The track limits, got a lot of penalties which cost him a couple of positions in that race. So he'll be looking to have another strong qualifying here and hopefully get himself back up the grid in another top 5. That is very interesting if true. D-Mac is in this race as well, isn't he? He said a wet race all race. If that is true, then that will be extremely interesting. It'll make the qualifying even more interesting as well. A couple of drivers will have to opt for a wet setup. A couple of them will stick it out on their dry and just hope that they can get themselves as far up as possible. And avoid the chaos. Nolan Mitch, purple, with his first car out on track, so he's bound to go purple, but this will be the time for everyone to beat straight off the bat. Nolan Mitch running wide there, that'll cost him some time, and again, but this will be the first time no matter what, and it'll be a 105.1. Next two go across the line is Spaceman. No, it's not Spaceman. Who is it? It's NJ Devil, 108 for NJ Devil. Spider-Man 4 fan goes to third. Elmerix, by half a second on medium tyres, crucially, goes pole position provisionally. Next car heading around is, I believe, an Alpine. That is Razi on an outlap, then there's a Haas following him. That's Spaceman, so what will Spaceman do? Not the best of a line through the final sectors, but he's gonna be the first Haas to set a lap. He only is fourth, quite a far bit off the pace. He'll be looking to improve that throughout this session. I believe MN Trocker is the next car on a lap, the Red Bull driver. Around the final two corners, this looks quite a strong lap. MN Trocker will go P2 provisionally. Next car, D-Mac, P4. Then there's Sunset and Rigby. Rigby is on a lap. Sunset is not. Round the final corner, where will Rigby go in the Ferrari? He goes up into fourth position. Elmerix completes another lap. He doesn't improve the current pole position time. Razi, winner last time out, and he's on pole currently on the soft tyres compared to Elmerix's mediums. So Razi sets the fastest lap with a 104.623. But still lots of cars on laps, lots of cars also suffering from those track limits. Sportmad's next car, and Sportmad goes to pole position by 3/10 almost, 2.34 seconds ahead of Razi. So the McLaren driver putting in another strong lap there. Badagold, he goes 9th. Rigby's next. Rigby's down on his time. Then there's an AlphaTauri of Paul Elite. He's the next driver to set a lap. He's invalidated, which makes Larsh, a former teammate of mine in Season 1 of SRL in Tier 2. He can only manage P6 in his Williams. Sunset in the Alpine, looking to get the second Alpine up into the top, and he'll be 10th, so right in the midfield. Queener, second on the grid last time, is only 5th currently. Then the next car on the lap won't be Sportmad, it's a Mercedes, so that will be TJW. Round the final two corners. He can only manage 12th. Game didn't update for a second. It's quite difficult. There's a lot of cars in that final sector just peeling into the pits. Someone shot up the leaderboards then. Was that... I think that was Rigby. Rigby up 2/10 on that slap. Another one is just shot up. Paul Elite goes to 4th on the grid. Lars goes to 4th on the grid. VTech has just started his first lap and he's invalidated out of the final corner. So he will not have his first lap just yet. Next car to cross the line, Queener, is massively down. Nolan Mitch is on an outlap. The next car behind him is TJW, who is 2/10 up. So TJW going to finish this lap, or will he pull into the pits? Through the final 2 corners, he did good job to not invalidate there. TJW, where will this put him? He was up and he goes to 11th. NJ Devil has just shot up the grid. NJ Devil putting in a 104.852 to go 6th. The next car is a Ferrari. That's Havoc Connor, who's about to start his lap. I think we'll watch this entire lap through. Braking for turn 1, 4th gear, hitting that inside curb. Lets the car run through the corner, up the hill now, through turns 2, sweeping left, and then heavily on the brakes to turn 3. Don't take this in 2nd or 3rd to avoid wheel spin on the exit. Then you're going to be powering down into turn 4. A corner prone to incidents in the race. Hopefully we won't see many incidents there. As I say, that Queener has just gone to 2nd, only 0.067 off of his teammate. What will Connor do? Doesn't seem to be the strongest lap for the Ferrari driver. And he's invalidated, so that's a shame for Connor. I think he's going to peel into the pits. Will he? I really can't be certain. No, Havoc Connor will go again. Nerdy Average Gamer is another one who hasn't set a lap yet. He's invalidated, so I think he's just doing a bit of fuel saving and he's going to go again. Maybe on those tyres. Havoc Connor has invalidated his next lap, so Connor is not having a fun time with the track limits. A couple of drivers in the top 3 now on laps. Elmerix on his first lap on the softs is invalidated, and that might have been this and next lap out of the final corner. It was for Elmerix, so Elmerix is going to probably have to peel into the pits. He's saving fuel, so yeah. Razi also invalidated. Lots of drivers really suffering with these track limits. It's a hard track to nail well, and that's VTech out of the session. Was that just a retirement in the pit lane for VTech? I can't see anything on the track map to suggest there's been a crash. So that's unfortunate for VTech, so he will line up at best 17th on the grid in the Red Bull. Track is starting to get very full very quickly again. Drivers looking to go for their second run. Just see how many, almost all the cars, there's only a handful of cars that are not out on track. The rest of them are all doing out laps or flying laps. Interesting, Elmerix has carried on. So Elmerix, is he this next lap invalidated again? Because that track map is red. He is. Larsh. I'm going to stay on board with Larsh for a little bit here. See, he's managed to just about keep it valid through turn 1. Elmerix needs to be aware that Larsh is coming up behind him on a flying lap. And just peel out the way. Elmerix continues on. Larsh improves in the first sector. Minor, he's not had a good run out of turn 3. Suffering from the wheel spin. That is D-Mech crashing out. And that is a crash, not just a retirement in the pit lane. That's D-Mac who's lost it coming out the final corner and put it in the wall. Larsh has invalidated, so this won't be an improvement for Larsh. Paul Elite starts a new lap. Spider-Man Fan finishes his lap. He's up. And Spider-Man Fan goes to 9th on the grid. Next car round is Elmerix. Elmerix is peeling into the pits and he's spun. That is not the way you want to be going, Elmer. Lars continues on, so Lars has gone out for another lap on those softs. Was that D-Max tyre at the final corner? Is that glitch really still in the game? That's weird. Queener looking to take pole for the first time, just missed out in the first race. Seemed to be the stronger of him and Elmer, and both of them fell through the race through mistakes in the wet and track limits. That is an Aston Martin spun around in the gravel trap. Em and Trock are going quite close up to it, so I'm not really sure what's happened there. That is NJ Devil who's gone for a spin. Drivers really pushing the cars here. Oh, and we've seen then Emmett Drucker has just lost it on the pit entry. He seems to be having some kind of issue, because that is not the mistakes you usually see from Emmett Drucker. Look for see who's on the lap. Nerdy Average Gamer in the Williams. He's on his lap. So this will be should be the first lap for Nerdy if the track limits. Well, if he can manage his car enough to keep it on the track, he will jump to at least 17th on the grid. Not many people improving. Nolan Mitch around the final corner. Is this an improvement for him? It is, but he doesn't move up any positions. Quite consistent with that. And that was Paul Elite. Paul Elite goes to third on the grid with a 1:04.599. Some of the gaps here are minuscule. Even 1/10 of a second can take you up 5 places on the grid. Nerdy round the final corner. Let's see what the Williams can do. He's one of the 3 drivers who haven't yet set a lap, and he goes to 13th on the grid. And if he improves on that by 2/10, 3/10, he could be up 5 positions. Next car's on a lap. Is that Elmerix starting a lap on the softs? The pole sitter last time out, he's had a big wobble coming through turn 1, but on his first flying lap on the softs, let's see what Elmer can do. He's 1.5 tenths down in the first sector. That's 1 corner. So he can gain a lot of the time that he would have lost on the mediums in the middle sector. See what Elmer can do. There's a couple of drivers also on a lap. Razi, 4th currently. He's invalidated at the final corner whilst he was up on his lap. And that was a 3.62, so that would have been pole position for him. Riyadh was going for a lap. He's invalidated and he's peeled into the pits. That was Nerdy Average Gamer, and as I said, 4/10 up, he's gained 5 positions, so Nerdy goes to P8. Elmerix, next car on a lap. Will it be 2 poles in a row? It won't. He just is off by 0.063 of a second, and he's invalidated his next lap. He might have time just to peel into the pits and go for another lap. The other Alfa Romeo, Badr is on his lap. He's currently 1/10 up. So what will the second Alfa Romeo do? Connor will finally set a valid lap in this session as he comes right around the final corner. Only 16th for the second Ferrari, so 10 places between the 2 Scuderia outfits. Spaceman is the next car to finish a lap. It's almost like he's run out of fuel. He's been going for that long, and he's going that slowly. The next car on a lap, Sportmad, doesn't improve his current pole position time. Will that be enough? We'll find out. The track is becoming very crowded right now. Everyone really looking to cement themselves up the grid, because if it is a full wet race, as D-Max said, which I would not be surprised about, it would be key to be as far up the grid as possible. Lars ran the final corner. Where will he go? Will he improve? He will not. 2/10 down on his lap. Next car is Trocker finishing his out lap. So we'll be looking to see what he can do on his flying lap. Havoc Connor is getting his another valid lap in, and that will put him up to P14. Next car, NJ Devil on an out lap. Rigby's on an out lap. There's a Mercedes. TJW is on a lap. This is really now or never for most of these drivers. Will Sportmad goes quicker by 3/10 exactly, so Sportmad really looking to cement this pole position for McLaren. It's a very strong showing for McLaren here if this current grid positions are kept. Elmerix is out on track, so will Elmerix be able to just make it round? That looks like it's going to be tight for him making it or not. Queener around the final corner. All these drivers pushing, they need to be just wary of the traffic. Elmerix might just get another lap in here. It'll be very tight if he does, but that is the first race pole sitter, so we'll see if he can get another one. Trocker has just improved. He goes to 10th. NJ Devil around the final corner. He's invalid. There's a Ferrari. That is Rigby, who's 1/10 up. So let's see what Rigby can do. Rigby was 1/10 down. He lost it all in the final sector. The Mercedes, who crossed the line, hasn't gone up any positions. Razi is on an out lap, so Razi will do another lap. Sportmad peels into the pits. He's happy with his lap. So let's see, will this be good enough? Elmerix is on an out lap. Is Elmerix getting another lap in? I can't see the timer because of the yellow flag. Elmerix will get another lap in, so we'll look for that. He only just made it because the flag went just after he crossed the line. Spaceman. It was not an improvement to Spaceman. TJW is an improvement. TJW jumps to 10th on the grid. Queener finishes his lap. Queener goes to second. 1.8 tenths up, but 1.8 tenths off his teammate still. Trocker around the final corner is invalid. NJ Devil, no, that's not NJ Devil, that's Riyadh, no, he was invalidated, so he hasn't set a valid lap in this section, so that will put him last on the grid. Paul Elite doesn't improve. Rigby doesn't improve. And the Mercedes around the final corner, that's Nolan. Is Nolan improving? No, he's not. So who's on left on a lap? Razi is on an out in lap. Elmerix is on a flying lap. Elmerix is up a teeny bit. Let's see what Elmerix can do. Oh, and Elmerix has invalidated on the penultimate corner, so it won't be two pole positions in a row. And he's crashed. Just got a bit distracted by Connor's presence on the inside of the final, outside of the final corner. So Elmerix will line up P3, and that will be the grid. Sportmad taking a first pole position on the season, and a McLaren 1-2, so that really helps them in the constructors fight. So it'll be McLaren front row, then Elmerix and Paul Elite will partner on the second row, followed by Razi in the Alpine, last week's winner. Rigby lines up P6, Large P7, Nerdy will be P8. What did you think of that qualifying session then? Yeah, Yari's saying from P1 to P13, 1 second. So there's your grid for the first race. Trocker gets the strategical pole position, lining up 11th. But we'll see what the weather will do, and Trocker getting a bit of a benefit from getting that P11. The free choice for strategy really helps you in these races. You can take new tyres, you can take mediums, and it is a wet race. Is this a full wet race? It's going to be a wet race. We'll see if it is. That looks like full wet conditions. So, who has picked a wet setup? Who has picked a dry setup? Could that be the key to Sportmad's pole position? Was Sportmad running a dry setup, or was Sportmad running a wet setup? Because by using a dry setup, that would have helped him to reach that pole position by the best part of 2 tenths. So, We'll see. Get your predictions into the chat. Who's going to be the quickest in the wet? 30 laps. We'll get a formation lap in. 36 laps time. There will be a winner of this race. Everyone starts on wet. It's definitely wet conditions. Wow. So we're going for a full wet race. Tier 3 can't get so much sunlight, can they? Had a wet intermediate rain patch last time out in Canada, and now they've got a wet start in Austria. Preetam saying his vote is for Elmerix. Elmerix, last time out pole sitter, this time out is another P3. Him and Queener look to be good contenders for the title if they can just keep it going in the race and keep it on track. Everyone's got to be very careful on the start here. You could get a lot of wheel spin and end up facing the wrong way off the line very easily in these conditions. This is going to be a good one. Do not go anywhere. Last time out, all 20 drivers managing to get through the race just fine. So we'll see what will be done today. As the AI takes control and Elmerix's AI has gone past them, and the two McLarens are forming one McLaren. That's an interesting tactic. Probably might be the 2022 car for them, who knows. But on the grid, that is Rehad, who's not, and he's been disqualified, so we're not going to have to wait a lot more time for him. Get your predictions in now. Who's going to win this race? We've got Elmerix, we've got Paul Elite, we've got Queener. What I can tell you is this will be very interesting to watch, as Spaceman lines up in his P18 position, and we'll be getting away very soon. In Austria, the fans have got the umbrellas out, the cars are lined up, the lights are going on. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. We go racing in Austria. It's a good start for the front two. Paul Elite's had a good start. He's looking to get up into P3. Nerdy Average Gamer's looking for a move on Rigby into turn 1, and he's outbraked himself, but he's made it work. Sport Mad, Queener, the two McLarens lead up the hill. Elmerix looking for a move on Queener. He's right on his side. They go side by side into turn 3. Someone has rounded the back. That is Spider-Man 234 in his Alpha Tauri. Elmerix gets up into P2. Side by side with Queener. Queener has had a better exit, but they'll stay side by side. Rigby losing out a couple of positions on the start. Queener is back past Elmer, or is he? Side by side the two drivers go on this first lap. As that is Spaceman having some issues in the back. Couple of drivers making some mistakes here. We'll have a look who's in most positions. Pretty neutral on the start. Elmerix is up 1, Queener is down 1. Queener having a big moment then, almost went straight into the wall. Paul Elite could look for a move, and Elmerix is right on the back of Sportman immediately. So Elmerix looking strong in the early stages. Nerdy Average Gamer, he's made up 2 positions. Rigby has lost 2. NJ Devil and TGW have swapped. D-Max up 3 from 14th on the grid. MM Trocker falls down 1 in his Red Bull. Nolan Mitch 30th. Connors is made up 1. Badwill has made up 1. Ridgard has made up 4. So good first lap for Ridgard, just keeping it on track. Doesn't seem to have as much pace as some of these drivers, but he's kept it going the right way, which has helped him. As we see, TGW has just made a move on Rigby. Oh, and TGW, big snap going down the straight, has just ploughed his Mercedes into a wall. He needs to be careful on his rejoin, and he's definitely got damage. He's holding up his teammate now. I think TJW will let his teammate go through, and he does so sensibly. So a couple drivers out, and that Spaceman retiring in the pit. Lap 1 contact forced him to change his front wing. Got a very close battle out front here. The Alfa Romeo versus the McLaren, looking for the win. Elmeric's fastest lap of the Grand Prix. These tyres, these wet and intermediate tyres seem to just get better and better the more laps you get put on them. It's very easy to improve in the wet. You get more used to the conditions, you get more used to your tyres, and your confidence goes up and up and up in your car and your machinery. That Sunset, who's had a very poor start to the race, going off there. We'll look to the front though. Elmeric's versus Sportmad for the lead. There's a car around in the back. That's Larsh. Oh, that would appear to be a big pile-up coming out of turn 3. Larsh is around in his Williams, so that's an unfortunate first couple of laps for Larsh. He started P7, he's already down to P13. This midfield battle is quite close, but they're just letting Elmeric's and Sportmad run away in the lead. 2 seconds almost between Elmeric's and Queener. These two clearly pushing each other. Just pushing each other but not getting close enough. Elmeric sets another fastest lap for 2 laps in a row. Sportmad's had a big moment. This will be Elmeric's opportunity into turn 3. Will the Alfa Romeo finish driver be able to look for a move? He's going to have to go to the outside. Sportmad sticks to the inside. That will tighten his run for turn 3. Oh, and Sportmad just blocks the middle of the corner. Some defensive driving from Sportmad there, just to keep ahead. I look to see Elmer might have been able to put off a switch back there, but Sportmad just parks his car in the middle of the corner, which has helped his teammate catch up. They've lost 0.8 of a second through the battling, and there's a VSC, as there's been a big pile up in turn 3 yet again. That's Sunset round, but there's been some damage for a couple of cars there. So we just neutralise the field a bit. Neutralise the situation for a little while. I'm not really sure what the cause of that was. I think it's just quite a lot of drivers now getting damaged. Sunset has left the session and he's left his car running on track. So was that a disconnection for Sunset? So no one is going to pit. We're just going to stay out here. The rain, quite hard to tell what the rain is doing. It's very wet on the actual track. The safety car's got, VSC has ended and Elmeric's is side by side. I have missed out completely the message for the virtual safety car ending. Elmeric's looking for a move into turn 4. Can't make the outside work. He's got better traction coming out of it, but he won't be able to make a move in this sector. Willie Elmeric's round the outside for the lead. This will be an amazing move. He can put it off. He's kept it side by side with Sportmad. He's not going to go into the lead just yet. Elmeric's needing to be adjusted. He's clearly got the faster car here. He's had a bit of a wobble there. Oh, and Elmeric's has been caught out. Elmeric's is spun round. He's just had more pace than Sportmad, and Elmeric's unfortunately goes into the back of him whilst he was trying to look for a move. But if Elmeric's has got that much pace on Sportmad, I wouldn't be surprised to see him work his way back up through the grid. That's unfortunate for Elmeric's, but we'll have to see what happens throughout this race. He's now got a couple of overtakes to do if he does want to get back into that, but it does mean it's a McLaren 1-2, just as it was in qualifying. Oh, and that's Paul Elite. She's just had a big wobble. Nerdy Average Gamer won't be able to be close enough for a move just yet. The only other worry for Elmer is if he's got damage. Car seems to be fine. So that is lucky for Elmerix. He didn't want to have a double injury with the spin and then some extra damage. Nerdy Average Gamer looks for a move. Can't quite find it. Paul Elite's run wide. And he's going to have the better run through the middle sector. And Nerdy Average Gamer going very nice racing from those two. Rigby's looking for a 3 wide. That was dangerous from Rigby to go for that. Luckily they all make it through unscathed. Elmerix, the quickest of these 4, gonna look to be able to pick them off rather quickly. He wants to get back up there, as Razi does the fastest lap of the race. Elmerix back up into P6 now, through on Rigby. Will D-Mac also get Rigby here? Into turn 1, he's got the inside line. Oh, and Rigby! Oh dear! Rigby has sent Elmerix spinning, and he's also sent him spinning, and D-Max had nowhere to go. So Elmerix has now been caught out twice in a couple of laps. This has not been a good first 10 laps for the race for Elmerix. He's down to 8th now. That is upsetting. He was looking for a close battle with Sportmad. But we'll go to Paul Elite and Nerdy Average Gamer. Those two. Large has spun in his battle with Elmerix yet again at turn 3. He keeps getting caught out by that corner. My phone is not updating with the stream chat, so I can't see what people are typing. Yeah, Rigby just seems to not have a knack, seems to need to do some more just running in the wet. If you just do some casual running in the wet, you will find yourself being able to adjust to these conditions better. You've seen Elmerix, he's been probably the quickest driver in the wet. He's had a couple of unlucky incidents, which now puts him quite a way off the lead, but he'll look to once again reignite the charge back to the front with a move on to NJ Devil. Side by side into turn 3. Elmerix in the Alfa Romeo, NJ Devil in the Aston Martin, and Elmerix powers it down better coming out of turn 3. Elmerix back into P7 again. There's a car in the wall. That is Spider-Man Fan. So Spider-Man Fan's lost to front wing and will need to pit. So Spider-Man Fan into 18th in this race, which is a shame because he had quite a good quali, really gave him the opportunity to get into a points paying position, and that is not how you enter the pit lane, my friend. So you will get a penalty for that. And that is Spider-Man Fan pitting for his new front wing. Elmerix pits up for 3 seconds, so Elmerix was running quite calmly, and he's just pushed it a bit too hard as he's trying to work his way up back through the field, almost in frustration. Did Razi pick up damage? I don't think he did, because he's currently got the fastest lap of the race, I believe. So if he was managing to do a fastest lap of the race whilst... well, he did have the fastest lap, he doesn't anymore. That is belonging to Sportmad in the McLaren. Sportmad once again get Queener. That was actually getting purple, so Will Queener looking to be catching up. Got a bit of a nice fight in this midfield section now, as well as Nolan and Paul. D-Mac and Rigby fighting for 8th on track. What's the weather forecast? Rain. D-Mac told us before the race that it's going to be wet for all of it according to the forecast. Whether that'll go to Inter, Havoc Connor picks up a 3-second penalty, which puts him out of the top 10. Of course, the new point system means that you don't just need to be in the top 10 to score points. That's spread out to more drivers. Rain or race is what I've been told. Nolan Mitch has just made a move for P5. That was Paul Elite having a big snap. Those two were close on track, but we'll look at this battle for a bit. And the other battle that's on track now. There's two blue cars together. That is the two Alpines. That's a lap car. Okay. Paul Elite seems to now be... A couple of drivers keep getting caught up. They're pushing their cars. They've strengthened the confidence in their vehicles, but they just keep getting caught out. Nolan is one of those. As Paul Elite backs off, he's not going to go for a move there just yet. But the more these two fight, the more Elmerix catches up. They're both wobbling all over the place. This is going to bring Elmerix... Oh, and that's Razi with a 3-second penalty. He won't lose any positions currently, but come a late safety car, that could really hinder him. We'll look for some on-track action. This three-way fight for P5 as Elmerix looks to make a recovery. He's managed to do that quite well, actually. Recovering some time. As I say that, he makes a mistake and costs himself a bit, probably just over half a second. With that, we'll look for who has pitted. So we'll see what is. This is very interesting. The tyre wear doesn't affect it too much, so you don't necessarily, if it is a full wet race, need to decide. And that's Nerdy going deep. Nerdy has just gone wide in the middle sector and into the gravel, and it's brought Elmerix and Paul Elite onto him. Sportmad just sets another new fastest lap. There's just so much action up and down the grid. Try a second there isn't, and I tried to talk about something happens. That's Elmerix into P6 now. Making a move on Paul Elite, coming out the final corner. So Elmerix looking to get back up through the grid once again, after his unfortunate incident with Sportmad, and then another unfortunate incident with Rigby. Oh, and that's Nerdy around! Nerdy just caught out by the lapped car, ghosting, and he's lost it, coming out of turn 3 on the traction, and that's Nerdy with damage as well. So that is heartbreaking for Nerdy, who was running in a good position inside the top 5 comfortably, and he's made 2 mistakes in 2 laps, and he's now down in 9th, needing and has front wing damage. That was the AI. Sunset's AI is still just going around dead last. Queener, new fastest lap. So McLaren really in control of this one now that Elmerix has fallen down the order. But Elmerix will be looking for his revenge. Will Nerdy pit? Elmerix, as I say that, new fastest lap of the race. So the conditions and the confidence these drivers have are only getting better. Anyone can still win this race. Sportmad up front has got 2-second gap. Queener is keeping that gap consistent. So if Sportmad makes a mistake, Queener was right there ready to pounce. Not much action. Nerdy has now pitted, so that's unfortunate for Nerdy. He's down out of the top 10 in what will become P14. Rigby looking for a move on DMAC here. What I was trying to say before the action all kicked off with Nerdy again was the situation with the tyres here. If it is going to be a full wet race, as the man we're watching just lap sunset again, DMAC said, if it's going to be a full wet race, these drivers don't need to pit halfway through. Nor not even necessarily at all. These drivers could yet go to the end on these tyres. The tyres are getting faster and faster by lap. We're seeing Sportmad and Elmerix and Queener exchanged the fastest lap every other lap at this point. That is Spider-Man in a wall. That's a VSC, which really helped Rehad, who's just pulled into the pit lane. Spider-Man losing it going into the final sector on the curb, I'd assume. Curbs can be quite getty in this section. That is interesting to see. Rehad onto the intermediate tyres. I wouldn't have said it was intermediate weather, but he's pulled the trigger for the intermediate tyre game. Is that going to be the right call? And if it is, then this could really affect this running. McLaren 1-2 up front. If these two both need to pit for intermediates now, is it intermediate conditions? Because that Queen has just backed off, and that would suggest... Nope. I would have thought for a second he might have backed off just to not have to lose so much time on the double stack. Couple of drivers now putting into the pit, so the ones near the back, so they may as well try it. TJW in for intermediates. MN Trocker in for intermediates. The VSC remains out. Top 5 all stayed out. Paul Elite stays out. DMAC is going to go in. No, he won't. He's lost it. Oh no, he's going to go in anyway. I don't know if that's going to be allowed on terms of the pit entry, but we're going to hope for his sake it is. Lots of the field is mixing up now. In for new tyres. Nerdy's gone for new wets in this situation. Was it the call for intermediate, or was it not? I don't think it is. The track, the wet, it's not, the rain level would suggest intermediates, but the track is still so wet that it would be wet tyres is what I'm thinking. But we'll look to see these two. Riyadh's not the quickest, but he seems to, no, he's not. I don't think it was the call to go for the intermediate tyres. Will any of the top 5 go in? McLaren's at the front, stay out. Nolan, oh, Nolan losing it on the curb. Elmerix is going to have a run into the final sector. Elmerix could go for a move here. It's very much on. Side by side they go, and that's Elmerix actually pulling into the pit lane. So will Elmerix pull for intermediate tyres? Or will he go for a new set of wets? First of the top 5 to go for the intermediates. Was that the call? See, DMAC is actually pulling away from NJ Devil a little bit. Or is he? Keeping it consistent. I think we're right on the switch point. This is the perfect lap, I think, for Elmerix to have gone in on. But will it dry out, or will it go to the intermediate conditions? I think it is safe to say that it's definitely getting drier. Lots of drivers into the pits for intermediates. Half of my screen is turning green for the intermediate symbol. That is a car round. Nope, it's not. There's a yellow flag for someone. Not quite sure who caused that. Thought for a second it might have been Elmerix, but it's not. Was this the call? Well, Queener certainly thinks so. Queener in the McLaren into the pits. One will only presume for intermediate tyres. For intermediate tyres. And that is Sportmad, the leader of this race, getting a penalty. The gap to Queener was 2 seconds, so that would put Queener into a net lead, because he has none. Razi also picking up a penalty. So this brings Elmerix right back into it, depending how much time he's made up on this outlap. If any. It's definitely intermediate conditions. Look at the board. Everyone's on intermediates now. And that is the fastest lap for DMAC, I believe. I'm on board with him. It lit up purple, but apparently Riyadh's 3-second penalty is more important. DMAC, yep, fastest lap for the Haas on intermediate tyres. Elmerix 13 seconds off of Queener. Razi has got a pit, so the front two into the pits. This may put Queener into the lead. We'll have to see. That is Badour disconnecting from the second session. So the second Alfa Romeo out, and that is, we'll see. Sportmad on pit exit now. Where is Queener? Queener is in the first corner. Badour has just been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous... Okay. Sportmad is out ahead of Queener by 1 second, but that gap is not the state it was before. Elmeric's fastest lap. It's only just told me this because of Badour's disqualification, because that is important. That is just the yellow flag for Badour, putting to the side. So everyone onto intermediate tyres. Rain, are you going away? We'll have to see. It's certainly reducing, and I can see some dry clouds. I can see clear skies in the background. I can see clear skies up ahead. So we'll have to see. Queener into a net lead position right now with that 3-second penalty on Sportmad, and it would appear to be closing as well. Sportmad just having to take an extra lap to warm up those tyres. Queener, fastest lap of the race. So the hunt is on for Queener at this stage. Might be another Canada moment. You're very right. Elmeric's another fastest lap. The track is getting drier and drier, but will it dry before the end of the race? That's a yellow flag. Razi does a purple sector 1. I've just noticed that. That was a yellow flag for someone in the midfield. That was Sunset's AI. Bruh. Oh, he's not in AI mode anymore. He's unghosted. So is Sunset back in the race? That would be lovely to see. He's about 2 laps down at this point, but nevertheless, the more the merrier. Queener, 3-second penalty. So Queener is no longer in a net position of the win. So this will be an on-track battle between the two McLarens. Will there be another Canada moment, as Tommy has said, where it just dries right at the end of the race, but you can't pit for dry tyres? Queener and Elmericks were the only two to try that last race. Razi does a fastest lap in the Alpine, so he'll be looking to join the two McLarens at the front. Will Elmericks respond with one? No, he doesn't. This top 4, very similarly paced. Sportmad just seems to be able to get the better of Queener. Queener is very fast, but is making just a couple of small errors that are distancing him from the back of Sportmad. No safety cars this race, for just as of yet. So this will be 2 safety carless races in a row for tier 2, for tier 3. That is Rehad through on Havoc Connor. These two having a battle in for 9th. Oh, and that's Larsh into the wall. Larsh has not had a good time of the rain today. Elmericks with another 3 seconds, so Elmericks will bump up to 6 seconds of penalties. So that's not what he wants. But at the same time, Razi just up the road, 7 seconds ahead, has also got 6, and the front 2 only on 3. Which, at the current rate, would put Nolan into a win if there was a safety car. So Nolan wins the safety award, clearly. Rigby, well, you would say he's won the safety award, but we've seen he had a collision, which was very unfortunate for both of them. But hey-oh, that's not the time for that. The front 2, however, is what we are going to be having to watch closely. These two have been at it all day, and only one of them can take it home. It's good points for the team if they can keep this 1-2 up. But at the same time, they don't want to do a... Well, They don't want to do a collision like some McLaren teammates did at one point in real life, 8 years and years ago. Because that would put an Alpine, an Alfa Romeo and a Mercedes into a 1-2-3. As someone has just been lapped. That was Larsh. So Larsh this has been a very unfortunate race for Larsh. He keeps getting just caught out in turn 3. That corner there that he's just gone through. That was TJW locking up for a brief second as we make our way through to have a look at this battle. D-Mac versus Paul Elite for 6th position on the track. D-Mac's got a great run out of the first corner. Paul Elite defends the outside. Oh! Oh, and that's a huge crash! That could very well easily be a safety car. It is. Paul Elite switches to the left-hand side of the track. I have caught that on the stream. That was some timing, but D-Mac just got caught out by Paul Elite, who's just went to the side and he's hit into the rear of the car. Razi has just lost out because Razi's got a drive-through for not ignoring his delta. That was, oh my god. I'm gonna just look back for the onboard. So that is a P6 and a P7 gone. Razi is the biggest loser in this situation because he's just picked himself up a drive-through. Queener and Sportman have picked up the safety car. Will anyone pit for new intermediate tyres? Someone who was coming out the pit lane there, that was a Williams, I believe. I think it might have been Nerdy Average Gamer. No, it wasn't. It was Larsh. Larsh is going for softs. He's that far behind in this race that that would be something he could do. I think D-Mac lost it. Wasn't Paul's fault, I think. I'm just going to look back at it now. Yeah, D-Mac lost it coming up the hill. These two are... What is this? What is going on here? MN Trocker. Elmer isn't happy with this. MN Trocker is P13, but he's in between him and Razi. Razi's got a drive-through. I don't think Elmer can be aware of that. Let me look. I'm looking at the stream. Yeah, D-Mac just gets caught out by an aquaplane and gets sent round into the corner of, into the rear right tyre of Paul Elite, and then they both clatter the Aramco barrier. Razi's picked himself up a drive-through, so this last week's winner, there's a very slim chance of him being this week's winner. MN Trocker, is he trying to unlap himself? Is he allowed to unlap himself? Have they fixed that in this game? Because... Wait, what is going on? MN Trocker, mate, I don't think you're meant to be doing that. Is he overtaking the safety car? He is overtaking the safety car. He hasn't been disqualified within 2 seconds, so MN Trocker is unlapping himself, which puts the top 4 into order. Spider-Man fan is in between them. And he's in AI, so clearly his AI hasn't been able to unlap himself. What is going on? That was just a bit mad. Nolan driver of the day, he's kept it clean. Yeah, Nolan currently 5th. If he can stick with the leaders, he'd be in a position, he'd be in a very good opportunity to win this race. Because he hasn't got any penalties. A podium could easily be on the cards. Elmerix has got 6 seconds and Razi has a drive-through as well as 6 seconds of penalties. So yeah, you're pretty right with the prediction for Nolan driver of the day. Could definitely win still. We'll have a look at what their fastest laps are to see the pace comparison. Yeah, Nolan 2/10 off. If he can keep that going in the final, I'd say we get 10 laps of racing. Looking to go green on either end of lap 26 or late. I don't think we'll go green at the end of the next lap. I think we'll be at least another 2, so we'll be looking to go green for around lap 26, either at the end or on lap 26. Well, not on, at the end of lap 26 should be when we're looking at 4 green flag racing. But yeah, Elmerix right with the fastest lap of this top 5. Then we've got a couple of drivers. VTEC's got a 13.5 as his fastest lap. TJW is all the way down in 12th, but he's got, I think, the 5th or 6th fastest lap of this entire race. Top 5 very evenly matched. Elmerix, you would say, without those penalties, would be probably the most on for a win right now. If he can separate, get clear on this restart, then Elmerix is definitely in contention. We'll just see what Razi does, because he's got that drive-through and he's not going to be able to serve that just yet. Slowly everyone is gathering. We're going in this lap. Okay then, we are going to go in this lap, so we'll put the intervals back up. Penalties will be there. We'll have a look at just quickly to see what the position gain was, because I want to see, did Nolan start 13th? He did. Wow, so that was an impressive drive for Nolan. Another one making up a lot of positions. Riyadh 20th to 13th. He didn't set a valid qualifying lap. Connor made up 7. VTEX made up thing, but we'll look for the front. When will Sportmad go? He's gonna want to leave it as, where will he go? We'll look at the telemetry to see exactly when he is going. And he's gone. Oh, and Sportmad has just spun on the restart, so Sportmad has lost out on that win, so that puts Elmerix Nolan into contention. Queener has 3 seconds of penalties, but currently leads. Razi got a drive through to serve. Elmerix has got 6 seconds. Nolan has dropped off a second. That is Sportmad. No, Larsh is on softs and is being swallowed up. Sportmad has just spun. Elmerix is spun. What is going on? Elmerix has just spun. This puts Nolan into a net win currently. Razi's got a drive through. Queen has got a 3-second penalty. I think there might have been some contact between Elmerix and Razi into turn 3, which, Jesus Christ, Elmerix has been by far the most unlucky driver today, going into Sportmad and then going into him again. Sportmad is going to be looking to try and get up the field, but I think Sportmad has damage, so that is heartbreaking for Sportmad. Nolan could easily challenge for the win. Razi pulls into the pits to serve his drive-through. Will we get a dry ending to this race? Almost all top drivers spinning, yeah. Well, the top 5 was calm before. It was, well, the top 7. It was Queener, Elmery, Sportmad, Razi, Paul Elite, DMAC making up the top positions. DMAC and Paul Elite have crashed. Razi's got a drive through, and Sportmad spun at the safety car restart as well. I think they're very much likely. But you know what this is Rehad. Current would be, I don't know how many penalties he's got, but Rehad started 20th and he's now into P4. How many penalties he's got? He's got a 3-second penalty. So Rehad, excellent drive in the Aston Martin. Put the penalties graphic up, because that will become very important. Rigby, 4 seconds, currently in a podium position. Nolan in a podium position. He's using all of his ERS. Queener has got the lead comfortably. His main challenger was Elmerix and Sportmad. His main challenger after Sportmad's spin was Elmerix, and then Elmerix has been caught up in his own incident. So Elmerix has had multiple opportunities to win today, and he hasn't been able to seize any of them. So Elmerix will come away disappointed from the second race, just as he did the first. Rigby will get a penalty. We'll see. Nolan, that was Nolan going deep into the second corner. But these guys, usually in the wet, you gain so much ERS from having to brake so much earlier that what I'm seeing now is these drivers are not gaining ERS, they're losing it, which would be the indicator to me that this is going to be another Canada situation where it's just dry right at the end of the race. Queener comfortably needs to just cruise this car home, and he will take home the Austrian Grand Prix. Spider-Man fan, currently running in 15th, gets another 3-second penalty. Wow. So an unfortunate collision between D-Mac and Paul Elite has thrown this race all over the place. It's been a very chaotic suddenly. Elmerix running in P5, he's got 6 seconds of penalties. He would keep P5 because of NJ Devil 3.5 seconds behind, and he also, NJ Devil himself has a 3-second penalty. But Elmerix would want a podium here. He's had the pace to show for the win, and I'd say that he would be running away with Queener currently if it wasn't for that contact in turn 3 on the restart. These midfield are battling. Havoc Connor picks up another 3-second penalty in his fight with Nerdy Average Gamer. TJW, both Mercedes running without any track limit penalties. Mercedes, the most rule following team, I would say. Razi does the fastest lap on the intermediates, but he's looking to gain back some positions after that drive-through. That was almost another incident. TJW, very good job to keep himself out of Havoc Connor after he has a loss of traction coming out the first corner. TJW reclaims that 8th position though. Slight lock up there, but he makes it through. Sportmad has another fastest lap. Wow. Just wow. It's Sportmad and Razi both having that final safety car really go against them. Elmerix goes for the move on Rehad. Rehad easily the driver of the day today. 20th to currently a 4th or 5th. Elmerix makes the move. Lovely side-by-side racing between the two of them there. Elmerix running in a P5 position currently. Will be looking to try and maybe get a podium here if he can pull away, which is the exact same thing Queener has done. Queener in the McLaren is very much clear. Large picks up a 3-second penalty and is on intermediates again, so softs were not the call. That was a dive bomb. It was a dive bomb from Elmer. Crucially, there wasn't any contact, so hard racing but fair. Sportmad, another fastest lap. It's very sad to see the man with the fastest lap, and he's led most of this race, and he had pole position, 12th position, through his own just misjudgment on that restart. I'm sure he's going to learn from that, and he's going to come back next week and be even better than how he drove today. You learn from your mistakes. Making a mistake, you can be mad at yourself, but by being mad at yourself, what are you getting? You're getting nothing as a reward if you just don't do anything about that. He will be motivated. El Murray picks up a new... What? That confused me. El Murray seemed to be on the track then, but Rigby went all the way wide and got no penalty. I think there could be a couple of protests about these drag limit penalties from Elmerix, because a few of these seem to be very unfair on the finish man. but he will look for a position on Rigby on track into turn 4. Ooh, contact between the two, Elmerix and Rigby. Rigby has nothing to lose at this stage. Has everything to lose at this stage, actually. Could yet get a podium easily here. Running in the position to do so, prolonging he doesn't pick up a track limit penalty. The one who will pick up a track limit penalty, the one who's looking very on course to pick up a podium, is Nolan. Running in second, he's been quite comfortable on the restart. He's not got that much pace, however, it would seem. Elmerix is catching him quite a lot. Elmerix will probably not get these positions because of his track limit penalties. For a second week in a row, Elmerix really losing out of those track limit penalties. So he needs to be able to learn from that to bounce back next week. Yeah, Elmerix seems to be very frustrated. He's had those mistakes, those small incidents with Rigby and Sportmad that would have put him up there with Queener, and he does seem to just get a bit frustrated, and when he gets frustrated, your concentration level drops and you just allow yourself to run wide, and you allow yourself to pick up 3 seconds of penalties. No chance. Nolan is driving today. Perfect clean race, just as many precisions improved and higher finish likely. Nolan, yeah, 13th on the grid, and he's running in a second position. He's going to get caught up by Elmerix here, and we'll see if Rigby even can make it through. Riyadh picks up another 3 seconds, which is disappointing because he was another driver who would have been able to get a podium. Rigby picks up a 3 seconds, so he would have had a nice battle with him for that. Elmerix looking for a move on Nolan. He's got to be careful of that bump. He's careful. And he's going to look for the move into turn 3. So Elmerix onto a second position on track. If he can get the power down, he can't. Nolan's got more grip on the outside. Nolan just needs to keep it cool and try and avoid a crash here. Elmerix going for the move into turn 4. And they two-touch. Nolan very lucky. I think Nolan just might want to let him go. Probably would be the smartest decision. Just let Elmerix through if he's going to be going for those moves. Hopefully Nolan doesn't have damage. Is that a mark on his wing? I really hope that isn't a mark on his front wing. It's not. Okay, that's good. For a second I saw the mark on his front wing and thought that might be a bit of damage, but seems to be unscathed. So we're going to have 2 laps here. Queener 7.7 seconds out in front, and he's got Elmerix 7 seconds and 9 seconds. Trocker picks up another position. TJW is another one in this race, just managing to keep himself nice and calm and drive his own race, and he's managed to gain quite a bit of positions, and he's had ups and downs, and he seems to have bounced back really well from those no matter what. Oh, that's NJ Devil going deep, which is going to allow Nerdy Average Gamer to pull along side by side. So that is Nerdy Average Gamer onto 6th on track, but he's got 3 seconds more penalties compared to NJ Devil. That is Rigby! Rigby has made a mistake, which has allowed Riyadh through. Riyadh on 6 seconds of penalties. And if these two fight too much, I think that might be... If these two fight too much, that could be Rigby off of the podium positions. If I look at the gap, Elmerix... DRS is enabled. So this is a Canada situation where only the last lap is the conditions for dry tyres. So your on-track podium would be Queener, Elmerix and Nolan, but Rigby will get Elmerix and Riyadh on penalties. But you gotta say, if Elmerix reports that contact with Rigby, he could yet lose out on that podium. TJW and Razi making a lovely comeback. And Razi's just taken 2 in 1 corner almost. Razi making 2 lovely moves in a short space of time to get up into P7. And this track is now only dry. But we're going to go to the front. It's been a flawless drive from Queener. Just keeping his head clean. He's going to come around the final corner. And he's going to bring his McLaren home for the win in Austria. Queener wins round 2 of the season. Elmerix will follow behind him on track, but it'll be Nolan. Elmerix goes for a P2, 9 seconds of penalties will drop him back. Nolan will take P2, who lovely drive by him. Rehad P5. Rigby takes the final podium spot. We'll see if Rigby picks up a penalty for that contact. TJW comes over in 6th. NJ Devil gets 7th. Nerdy Average Gamer 8th. Razi 9th after that late drive through, making a nice recovery. Havoc Connor will come home in 10th. Sport Mad, who led most of this race, will be a disappointing P12. Edmund Trocker will get him on penalties. VTech P13. Larsh will be the last one to finish. Larsh, having a strong quali, he's dropped back through this race, so not a good day in Austria for Larsh. There'll be Queener taking home the race for McLaren, and Ismail, however you say your name, I'm very sorry, correctly predicts a win for Queener. Driver of the day Rehad in the game. P20 to what, P5? I just realised I skipped that. I'm so sorry. There is your final results. Driver of the day for me personally has to go to Nolan. Excellent drive by the Mercedes man. Kept his head clean all race. And P13 on grid. I'd say actually, if I could give 2 driver of the days, I'd give it to Nolan and Rehad. 2 excellent drives from the Mercedes powered cars to take home some very good points, and easily 11 positions raised for Nolan and 15 raised by Rehad. So some very excellent driving here today. Sportmad, you have to feel for Sportmad as a special mention before we end the stream. He drove excellent today, and Sportmad, if you are watching this, you gotta keep your head strong and high up, because you showed today that you have the pace to win this tier. And I'm sure next week you will come back and you will be even better than you were this week. But that will be it from me. I was Aston. That was SRL round 2 of tier 3 in Austria. It was a chaotic race. It was a race of heartbreak, race of happiness, and a race of everything. But we'll see you next week. Goodbye.